Good morning, Yankee fans. How's everybody doing today? Well, it's not only a great day in New York City, but it's a great day for being a Yankee fan. There's a lot of things that we know about the rumors and everything, but hey, they came back very nicely in Atlanta, and now it's the big series. As I've been saying, they started Toronto on their winning streak, and they're going to end Toronto's winning streak. So that's good. Also, everybody, thank you for being on the stream last night. As you know, I don't know if you do know or you don't know, but I came back live with Nathan, and we announced that we're having a special guest at 4 p.m. on our pregame show, and that is former World Championship relief pitcher Jake McGee. That is courtesy of Nathan Sports, and we're going to interview him. He was a Yankee killer. And with me on that interview is going to be Ben from the Sports Pod. And thank you for all the kind comments about Ben. And because of that, we are going to bring him on. He's going to be on the show with us today. And so is Jonathan. We can't forget about Jonathan, the master of information. He has been gracious enough to come on for a few minutes too. So without any further ado, let me bring up Ben. Ben, welcome to NY Yankee Mania again. Thank you so much.
Of course, happy to be here.
You made a lot of waves, my friend. A lot of people really enjoy your comments, and it's pretty nice actually that you're not a Yankee hater, but you're a Met fan. So that works. There's a lot of shows that have a Yankee fan or neutral or a Met fan on it, and it works very well. So that's good. Also, we have Jonathan, the master of information. He is here for a few minutes, so I want to bring him up and introduce. Jonathan, how you doing? Say hello to Ben, our new contributor here and co-host on NY Yankee Mania.
Hi, Ben.
How's it going?
So he is the master of information. Jonathan, what's going on?
Well, all I've seen lately is that if the Yankees go after Suarez, it could end up they could end up trading Slittler for him. That's what I'm hearing.
What do you think about that, Ben?
I mean, Schlittner, I saw he might be day-to-day now. He's got a little bit of an injury, but you got to give something to get something. So Suarez is going to be an impact bat, and if you're really going for it this year, you might have to part ways with one of your top guys in Cam Schlittner.
Exactly, and my thing, Spencer Jones is going nuts down there, and I agree with Jonathan 100%. I would only trade him for one guy, and Jonathan, who is that guy?
Skeens.
Right, exactly. Otherwise, I'm even skeptical about that. This guy is the real deal. Everybody wants to keep LeBron Jr., but what is he doing down there? He's batting .202. This guy is raking. He's batting .395 in AAA.
Yo,
yes, man.
Remember one thing: Lombard Jr. is 19 years old.
Right.
How old is your new co-host today?
16.
Well, that's up to him to tell us.
16.
There
So
you go.
imagine you're 16 in let's just say in January when the international signing period, the Mets come to you and offer you a deal. You take it. Now you're signing with the Mets, and 2 years later, they want the. It's the same thing. You cannot. Yeah. It's you like to have your own prospects develop, but if you want to trade and you want to win, sometimes you have to part ways with something, and making trades always hurt. A lot of the times hurt.
Ben, you agree with that?
Yeah, like I said, you got to give to get. It takes two to tango. You're just not going to give up some no-name prospects to get a guy like Eugenio Suarez who was produced at a high level this season. So if it does mean moving off of Spencer Jones, maybe you get more in return. Maybe you get a Merrill Kelly. Maybe you get a Zach Gallen in addition to just Suarez. I mean, Spencer Jones, to Eugenio Suarez straight up doesn't line up in my eyes. But I think there is a package that could give the Yankees a couple pieces that could be real contributors on a World Series team.
Well, first of all, I want to read this in a minute, but I want to say good morning to our wonderful chat. Blaze 455, John the Beagle Dad, the nasty one, Charles Volta, how you doing? Jake, Felix. In the email, we got the usuals. We've got Jeff, we've got Bob Rizzo, Kevin. Let's see who else is on here. Oh, a new person, Anna. How you doing, Anna? Welcome to the stream. Anybody, you're more than welcome to come to the chat. If you have any questions, come there. Or, of course, say it to me. I'll be more than happy to put it to the panel. Thank you so much. You guys have been great. Remember?
Can I respond to Blaze?
Wait, we're going to get to that 1 second. I just want to make sure that everybody knows. Don't forget, at 4 o'clock today, we have Jake McGee, a former Yankee killer, a great relief pitcher, and he also won a world championship in 2020. Okay, Jonathan, read the Blaze 455 and then respond to it.
Jim Bowman expects the Yankees to trade from the outfield depth with another contender for third base, Miguel Garcia and Seth Lugo for Dominguez, or trade Vientos for Dominguez. Dominguez, I'm not sure if he's going to be traded for something like that. And the only thing I think, honestly, it makes more sense to trade Grisham over Dominguez, because if you trade Grisham immediately, you call up Spencer Jones. They have to trade. They have too many outfielders. One of them has to get traded. So at the end of the day, I would think the Yankees trade Grisham over Dominguez and call up Spencer Jones.
Hey, Ben, before you respond to that, you have a nice message from the nasty one, and he says, this Ben is a machine, hair done nice and ready to rock and roll. My 16-year-old sleeps till noon. So,
not gonna lie, I usually sleep till noon also. So
yeah, but you're very, very good at your stuff and everything that you now. How about responding to Blaze and to Jonathan? What do you think about that? Would you want to see Dominguez for Vientos?
From a Met fan perspective, absolutely. Jason Dominguez has raked his entire major league career. Mark Vientos has had such a down year. Yes, he showed that he can produce in the postseason, but that came after a really strong regular season. But as a Yankee fan, I would not like to see that result.
No.
For the same reasoning, it just goes the other way. Jason Dominguez has been a key part of that outfield, a key contributor to your team. He's hit leadoff sometimes. He's hit sixth in the order sometimes. He can really do it all, and he plays a solid left field. If you guys remember back in spring training, there were concerns whether Dominguez was going to be able to play left field after he was dropping easy pop-ups down at George M. Steinbrenner Field. So as a Met fan, heck yeah, I'd make that deal. But as a Yankee fan, no, I wouldn't.
And you have a kudos from the baseball purist who is a big Met fan. Jason Dominguez is a million times better.
Yeah, and he's also a switch hitter.
And he's a switch. Very good. Yes. Go ahead, Ben. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's all I was going to say. It just doesn't make sense from a Yankees perspective. And even as a Met perspective, I guess you could play him in center field, but then you limit your third base options even more.
Jonathan, FJ has a comment here. Take it away.
I agree. I would not trade Spencer Jones for a rental. As I told you before, the only two guys I would trade him for would be Skeens and Skubal. Nobody else.
Wow. Charles, good morning to you, and thank you for coming back. Let's see what he has to say. Dominguez is not getting traded for Vientos. Bad move. Care to
Yeah, I
comment?
agree. There's no way that happens. It just doesn't make sense on the
One,
Yankee side, and especially Mets Yankees. That kind of stuff doesn't happen too often. So for
can I
a
add something
trade of that
to this?
stature to happen at the trade deadline with two young guys that their talent level isn't really matching up, it just makes no sense.
Can I
No,
add one more thing to this?
yeah, go ahead.
The Yankees are also not looking to increase payroll very much. If you take a guy like Dominguez, who's making almost the minimum, and I don't know Viento's contract,
He's not making a lot either.
well,
But
he
after what
also
he
has
did,
he also has what 4 more years of control with Dominguez.
It's probably similar with Vientos. Last year was the first time he really got a shot.
Yeah, so well,
yeah, but Vientos, I mean, how good he was very good in the playoffs. How fast, I mean, he's having an okay year this year, but he's had some injury problems. He's had a lot of things going on. But I like Vientos. I don't get. Listen. I wouldn't mind him. He's not the greatest third baseman, but I wouldn't mind that bat in our lineup. But not for Dominguez, and definitely not for Jones. And not, it's got to be maybe a top 12 prospect or something. I would do, and maybe I don't know. I'm just saying, you don't give up on Vientos so fast.
I'm not giving up on him. I'm just saying
Right.
that Dominguez is way better as it stands right now because Vientos, he's still young. He can still come back from this. It could just be a down first half, and he has a breakout second half and then produces in the postseason again. Like, there is absolutely a way that happens. I just can't see it.
well, I'm expecting the Yankees to trade from their pitching depth.
What pitching depth is that, though, Jonathan? Right now, they still. I mean, yeah, Marcus Stroman has been a good soldier. He's been doing well, but you say the depth. I mean, obviously, you're talking from Double and Triple A. I mean, what are you saying? And with that comment,
Like for example, Brendan Beck could be traded.
okay.
He's
Okay.
one of the guy. I mean, for the right deal, maybe Schlittler. Although I'd be very hesitant. I think Schlittler's trade value is higher than it was to start the year.
Yep. Here's a question for all three of us. We have to stop platooning Dominguez and get him back to lead off and playing every day.
Yes.
Your thoughts, both of you?
Yes. 100%.
It's just tough because you have Cody Bellinger, Trent Grisham, and Aaron Judge in that outfield. Obviously, Aaron Judge is stationed in right field. He's not going to be taken out of that lineup unless he needs a day off. Grisham, he's been in a little bit of a funk after his really hot first 2 months of the season. So maybe I could see him replacing Grisham in the everyday lineup. But Cody Bellinger, we were talking about it a couple nights ago. He has been pretty solid for this team, and I don't think he's going to be taken out of the lineup for Jason Dominguez. So if Aaron Boone does want to play him every day, which I don't think he really does, it would have to be in center field. And do you want Grisham's defense taken out of that lineup?
Well, that's not the only options he has. If he wants to play Grisham, Dominguez, Jones, Judge, and Bellinger, he can just put Bellinger at first base and put the other three in the outfield.
Has Bellinger played a single game at first base this year?
Yes.
Yeah, how many?
Oh, at least 12.
Yeah? It's that much?
Yeah.
Okay.
No matter where you put this guy, he's an all-star. I mean, this guy is he's just, common, really good to watch, period.
That's the only way you can have all four in the lineup unless you DH one of them.
For Mr. Ben, trade Pereira for Vientos. Would you do that?
I would have to look into Pereira a little bit more.
He's got 19 homers down in Scranton this year.
Pereira's having a good year in AAA.
Is he hitting? Is he hitting at a high rate? What's his batting
Hitting
average?
over 300.
Okay, yeah, probably. Because
I knew that would get him. I knew that would get him.
I would have to watch some of his film and stuff like that. But Vientos is not having a good year whatsoever, and the Mets do have other options. Examples, Ronnie Mauricio and Brett Beatty to play at third base. So eventually they're going to have to move off of one or two of those guys. And as of right now, Mark Vientos is just not doing it for me.
Honestly, if I were to trade with the Mets, I'd probably prefer trading for Beatty.
Yeah. He's had the most extended chance, and yes, he's shown flashes, but he's never done it for an extended period of time like Vientos has.
But the one thing the Yankees need to focus on, they need to focus more on the defensive end of third base more than the offensive end. The offense can be fine. They just need a good defensive guy who can put the ball in play, hit around 260 with some power. I don't need a Mike Schmidt. I need
let me
a
throw another
competent third
name
base second field.
Let me throw another name at you guys. One that I like. That is Jeff McNeil. What would you think about Jeff McNeil deal? And because he's all over the place too. He can play second. He can play third. He can play the outfield. He can DH, pinch run.
Bottom line, at the end of the day, I do not see any trade between the Yankees and the Mets.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not like it was with the Wilpons. These two guys, they may trade with each other.
They may do it, but it's still very, very unlikely. That you do not want to see Jason Dominguez in Queens, winning, beating the Yankees on a hit. You do not want to see your own prospects beating you.
Well, Mr. Met fan says Jeff McNeil is another DJ LeMahieu. Well, he gets hurt a lot, but, he brings value, and he's a left-handed hitter in Yankee Stadium. I'm not saying trade Dominguez for him. I'm just saying a possibility. Ben is laughing, so I got to hear his comment.
You guys don't want to deal with Jeff McNeil. That's all it is. He has really high highs, but even lower lows. And when he does get in those funks, it is an extended period. Like some players will go in a slump for a couple weeks. Jeff McNeil will be in a slump for a month and a half, or even a full season like we saw back in 2023. He is just not the guy you want on your team. And as a Met fan, I will continue to root for him, and I would continue to want him to be on this team because of his defensive versatility, his hitting. Yes, this season he's been really solid. He hasn't been playing at an all-star level or anything like that, but he has played solid defense. He's played everywhere. He's played left field. He's played right field. He's played center field. He's played second. He probably played third at some point. He's incredibly versatile, but the hitting just doesn't do it for me sometimes. And going back to what you guys were saying about Cody Bellinger, he's only played 5 games at first base this year.
Oh, then maybe defensive, but I know I've seen him there a few times. But thank you for looking that up and making me look bad. But that's okay. No, just kidding. Well, getting on to another subject we haven't really touched, the Yankee bullpen. Now the Phillies got a little stronger, more than likely. What is your observation of David Robinson going back to the Phillies, who when he signed that contract, he was hurt like 98% of the time? I think it makes the Phillies better if he's healthy. Jonathan, I know you just have a couple of minutes left. You want to respond to that?
Yeah, David Robinson is basically he's a good piece if he can play. He's a coin flip at the point. It depends on his health. If he can play, it's a good contract. If he's hurt, I don't know. I haven't been following him since he left the Yankees, so I don't know about his injury history, or if that's, or what is the reason he was not signed before the season.
Okay, and your final thoughts, Jonathan, before we let you go?
I think the trade deadline will come down to the final day. You'll see a lot of activity from till the 6 o'clock hour and to the following hour. So there may be some names that none of us are thinking about that get moved.
Okay.
Honestly, I personally, ever since they expanded the playoffs, I would expand the trade deadline by 2 weeks.
Okay, cool. And also, Jonathan, I want to remind you, if you can, come in at 4 o'clock with some good questions to Jake McGee,
Well,
who is a
I,
Yankee
I
killer.
get back from work around that time, so maybe, maybe not. It all
Okay.
depends on the traffic in New York, and you know how that is.
Yes, I certainly do. With Jonathan, it's always a pleasure as a
Thank
co-host in the 8:30 hour for NY Yankee Mania. You have a wonderful day. Thanks for coming on. All right. So you have an answer, a question from Nasty One. Hey Ben, Mike McNeil saved the Mets yesterday with that double off a lefty.
Yeah, he did. That was a huge hit. Got the Mets back in the game, and they eventually walked it off. So the Mets had one win to salvage their series against the Cincinnati Reds. They didn't get swept like the Yankees did in Yankee Stadium last year. But McNeil has played really well this season, and too well for me to trade him. We need that defensive versatility in addition to what he's giving us with the bat. I was more referring to the first half of 2024 and 2023, where he was flat out terrible. But ever since last year's All-Star break, he has been back to, I wouldn't say back to normal, but he's playing at a rate that the Mets can accept. He's playing at a level, he's producing enough for the Mets to keep him around. So I wouldn't trade him necessarily, but if the right deal is out there, I would.
Charles says you want a cheap third baseman that can hit and is cheap. Otto Lopez of the Marlins. What do you know about him?
That's interesting because it is an NL East trade that doesn't happen all too often.
No, I think he's talking about the Yankees.
Oh, he's talking about the Yankees. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm not locked in on Otto Lopez or anything, but that's a guy he can hit for you. I would be interested if I was a Yankee fan, but I do think the guy is Eugenio Suarez. He's really he is the end all be all.
Yeah, okay, no, that's great observation. The Met fan says Jeff McNeil is a pro golfer pretending to be a baseball player. Your views on that? I think he's a little better than that, the baseball purist. Ben, your thoughts on that?
There are times where it looks like it. He does have that uppercut swing where he's has his hands held real high and then he swings his bat through the zone as if it is a golf club. But I wouldn't say he's a professional golfer pretending to be a baseball player. He's been good enough this season.
Okay. We have a question from Bob Rizzo for you, Ben, and he asks, "Hey Ben, as a young man who actually that really knows what he's talking about, are you strong with other teams, with other sports, and do you have a podcast?"
Yes, I do have a podcast. It's called The Sports Pod. You can watch it wherever you get your podcasts and YouTube. I am familiar with other teams. Obviously, I'm tapped in with all the New York teams, whether it's the Giants, the Jets, the Knicks, the Nets, the Mets, the Yankees. I don't get into the hockey. That's something that's certainly going to come in the future. But I try to do 2 episodes a week. And you can go check it out wherever you get your podcast and YouTube, like I just said. And that's it, yeah.
Okay. You got a question. Okay. Hey, nobody wants to talk to me. No, that's good. I'm very glad that you're all comfortable with Ben here. This is from Jeff. Jeff says, as a young man, and I'm trying to get one of my young son, who's 15 now, into possibly getting into some things as far as announcing. What would you recommend he do?
Start a podcast. That's all it is. He's still young. It's still early. Like, it's still early for me. But I realized this is what I want to do when I was in 7th grade. That's really all it is. And I started my podcast. I took up announcing games for my high school. I call the football, basketball, and lacrosse games. Those are things to look into. PA announcing is what I do for basketball, and I do play-by-play for the other sports. That's what I would recommend.
Okay. If you get a chance, just put your link in so maybe people can just click to it right away and check out a lot of great videos. He has a good interviews with WFAN personality, and I'm just happy to have him here as a co-host, and we're looking for really really great things from him. One more question. This is from Anna. Anna says, "Hey guys." You bring a fresh brand to this channel, and you speak your mind and you say it like it is, where other people just sugarcoat all the time, and you just bring a breath of fresh air. Comment on that?
Thank you. I mean, I try to be real. I try to keep it real with everything I do. I hate when people are sugarcoating things, when people try to act like they know what they're talking about when they don't know the players, like you saw with Otto Lopez. I'm not going to say I know everything about him because I don't.
Right. Means the same with me. And I will not sugarcoat it. Everybody, every podcaster, every announcer have their own opinions, and they're entitled to it. Me, I look at it that if something's wrong, I would love to talk about it and fix it in our way. And sometimes what the Yankees are doing, it's really funny because I've been saying bunting, and now all of a sudden a little bit they're bunting. A solid lineup for a couple of days they were doing that. So I mean, listen, I'm not saying they're listening, they're not listening or anything, but what I can tell you is we've had a few Yankee employees listen to this show, and they come on every now and then. So, and they know that I say the truth, and this is coming from me. It's not coming from that I have to say something. We all know that I love the Yankees through and through. But if something is not right, guys, I am going to say it. I am definitely going to. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything, and I think that's what the people really like and respect about it. And I think, Ben, from what I see of you don't sugarcoat it either. If the Mets or any team is doing something that you don't agree with, you have the right, freedom of speech, to talk about it. Your views on that.
I mean, yeah, it's sports. If a team isn't playing well, if a team is making dumb decisions, managerial-wise, front office-wise, trade-wise, free agent signing-wise, I'm going to call them out for it. That's sports talk. That's why we have podcasts. That's why sports talk radio is a thing, to debate what's happening in sports.
The nasty one says, Joe, if the money wasn't in the picture, would you trade Jones to get Soto back? That's a hard question, man. I mean, you look. If I say yes, then it's going to say, "Ha, he's on the Mets." If I say no, they're going to say, "Oh, you're crazy." So I am gonna be neutral on that. We have to be realistic. What the Yankees have, they have. What the Mets have, they have. So I am gonna stay away from that question because it's only going to cause controversy one way or the other for me. If I like it, then this and that. If I don't like it, this and that. I'm going to stay neutral on that. Ben, do you agree with me on that?
I think it's just there's no chance of it happening. It doesn't matter what money's involved, what money isn't involved. So I would agree with you. Yeah, there's no real answer to that question.
There's no right, exactly. John the Beagle Dad, how you doing? And Anthony Barker, how are you? Who are the Yankees going to pick up at the trade deadline? Well, that's a great question. I mean, there's so many rumors out there. Where do you start? Where do you start? But what I would love to start with is bullpen help. What are they going to do in the bull? Yeah, you can get a third baseman. Fantastic, good. Who's gonna be in the middle games to hold the guys down? Do you trust Ian Hamilton? Do you trust Tim Hill? Which I kind of do. That guy I do. I don't trust Loizaga, and I don't know what the two end guys have to be the end guys, the 8th and the 9th innings. Who's going to come in now? If Luis Hill gets healthy, I would put Marcus Stroman right in there. You agree with me?
Absolutely.
No, I mean, he's pitching like a soldier. He's pitching very well. How can you not look at him? You can't have 1,000 starters. And Marcus Stroman, although he said in the past, I do not want to be in the in the bullpen, but he might not have a choice, Ben. I mean, if he wants to get back in the good graces and maybe worth a trade, maybe he's going to do that. Now Charles says Bender is a good option for the bullpen. Yes, he is, but he's not a middle guy. So now what do? Now you're going to have 3 potential closes. That'll be nice, but you got to get to the 7th inning. And if the Yankees starter is struggling, what do? I don't trust Blue Baker that much. I don't. Tim Hill is a situational pitcher. Whatever happened. Now I don't know, Ben, if you go back this way, but we had left-handed specialists, and that's what Tim Hill really is. He's not a 2-3 inning pitcher. They went away with that because you got to go with 3 batters. So you're forcing a Hill that he's got to face more than the hitters he's supposed to. Whatever happened to the lefty specialist? Go ahead.
Everyone has to face 3 batters now. That applies to every single team. Wouldn't Carlos Mendoza like to just pitch Edwin Diaz against righties, and then he would just like to pitch his left-handed relievers against lefties? That's not how the sport works. So you can't really be complaining about the Yankees not having a left-handed specialist when the rules don't permit any team to have a left-handed specialist.
It just changed recently because they want to speed the game. What do you think they're doing that for? They don't want the manager coming in and out all the time. Oh, change for this guy, and change for that guy. There's so many rule changes, and it doesn't make the manager really manage.
I get it. He does have to spend more time with each reliever. He can't have as quick of a hook. But at the end of the day, those 4-hour games, it was not enjoyable to watch. Sometimes it was, but when it was a blowout and a team was just up by 7, 8 runs and the pitchers were getting changed every 5 batters or whatever, every couple hitters, it's not enjoyable. The rules make it way better. I am absolutely a proponent of the 3-batter minimum rule. But like I was saying, you can't complain about the Yankees not having a pitcher that only faces lefties when everyone has to face 3 batters, no matter what their handness is.
Yeah, I agree with it, and I don't. I'm just saying it just took away another element because of the fact that they're trying. Listen, yeah, the games have gotten a little shorter, but not all the time. And then they bring in the replay rule. Sometimes that's 3 minutes. They can't make up their mind in New York. They can't.
But then, are you going to complain if the call is wrong?
Well, if you're looking at it for 3 minutes and you know darn well that it should be overturned, and it's not. That's infuriating in my mind.
But they don't know. That's the thing.
No, but I'm talking about New York when they have 18 different angles. Why did they wait so long? Excuse me. They look at it from one perspective, another one. We only get 1 or 2 perspectives of it. But they have a whole, and it still takes them 3, 4, 5 minutes sometimes. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, but then everyone complains if the call ends up being wrong. So you can't also complain about replay taking too long. That's the thing. The umpires, that's the human element of baseball. And if you're going to complain about them being wrong, fine. But you can't complain about replay taking too long because that's how the umpires are corrected. That's how you eliminate that human element, and that's how you eliminate the complaints.
No, that's fine. Listen, I agree in certain sports, in certain ways. But I grew up in an era where you had lefty specialists. So I've got to be completed with it and then go for. I'm not saying I'm closed-minded, but that's what I grew up with, and that's what I've always seen. And I've seen games 2.5 hours long, and I've seen games 4.5 hours long. Charles says Boone leaves pitches in too long when they're getting hit around. What's your thought on that?
I would say, yeah, he does. But
Yeah.
who do you want him to go to? His bullpen is not very deep as it stands right now. And he can't just tap into everyone in the fourth inning when the starter is getting rocked. He can't go to his closer in the seventh when Jonathan Loizagus doesn't have it. I get it. When pitchers are getting rocked, it's hard to sit there and take it. It's hard to sit there and watch it. But there is an element of, okay, we need to save our pitching. We don't have other guys that we can go to.
Okay, yeah, that's very, very fair enough. Ken, good morning. And Ken, by the way, will be doing the play-by-play tonight on his channel, The Ugly Truth. So look for that. He'll be coming on at 7 p.m. and he does a great play-by-play. You must go and see it, everyone. It's The Ugly Truth, and he is a proponent with us, a co-hoster, and we do games together, either on his channel sometimes and sometimes here on NY Yankee Mania. And he says the left-handed pitchers can't get right-handed batters out. That's complete crap. I was a left-handed pitcher, and most of the batters I faced were right-handed. So I think you can get lefties and righties out. I agree with Ken 100%. This thing is, oh my God, this lefty can't do it. You got to give him a chance. I mean, I'm gonna give you an example, but this is a hitting example. Paul O'Neill. I'm sure you know Paul O'Neill a lot. He was a great player, great Yankee. He got traded from Cincinnati for one reason. They felt that he couldn't hit lefties. So what did the Yankees? And the Yankees felt that Roberto Kelly couldn't hit righties. So it was a great trade. It was a good trade on paper. But Paul O'Neill was an elite left-handed hitter. And look what he did for the Yankees in all the years that he was here from 94 on. So, I mean, you've got to give something a chance. You've got to do it. Now, I have seen some lefties that cannot get out right-handed hitters, but they weren't great. They just weren't great. I mean, some of these guys are good, and I agree with Ken. Ben, do you agree with that? I know you. I mean, you must have seen Paul O'Neill, lefty, whatever, in a lot, because obviously you're a young guy. But what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think we don't need to expand this to hitting per se. I think this is more of a pitching conversation. It's more relevant in pitching than it is hitting because the pitchers are facing more of a diversity of batters, lefty, righty, the way the lineup could be set. I'm seeing Tug McGraw was a star lefty reliever who had more trouble with lefty hitters than righties. There are guys like that. There are the guys with reverse splits that we always talk about, but those are outliers. That's not the vast majority of pitchers. And in today's age, I don't know if you know this, but the comparison percentage of lefties versus righties, it's only 46 to 54, 54 being righties, 46 being lefties. So it is pretty split on lefty versus righty.
Yeah, okay, and that's pretty good. And the nasty one, first off, Tug McGraw was a star lefty reliever who had more trouble with lefty hitters than righties. That's true. That is true. And also, the nasty one says Jake McGee, who, by the way, we're going to have at 4 p.m. and interview him with myself and Ben. He was a great relief pitcher and gave the Yankees fits. Absolute. They could not hit him with a 20-foot pole. I don't care if it was from Aaron Judge to whoever. He gave the Yankees fits. I was so happy when he got traded away from Tampa Bay or left Tampa Bay. And I don't know if you got a chance to see him or if you could see some video on Jake McGee. He was one nasty dude, Ben. One nasty dude. And it's going to be real interesting to see. Obviously he won the championship with the Los Angeles Dodgers, but his mainstay was definitely with the Tampa Bay Rays. Good morning, JT. How you doing? Nasty one. Thank you for that comment, because it is 100% true. Let's go to FG. The time issue of ball games resulted from TV network control over broadcast, not because managers changed pitches too much. Your thoughts on that?
I wouldn't say it's the TV network's fault as much, because they're playing commercials during the pitching change. They're not delaying the game by playing their commercials. They're doing it between innings when people are warming up. So I wouldn't say it's TV network's fault. They're not overstepping or anything.
Here's one thought for you that I'd like to get your opinion on. So the Yankees are on, yes, Apple, Amazon Prime, Roku, Fox, ESPN. Do you agree with all of this? Because at least the Mets have a local station in New York. The Yankees don't.
They do. It's the Yes Network.
What?
The Yes Network is their local station.
I understand that, but what happens to the ones that can't get Yes Network or can't afford cable at this point? Because even basic cable's $100 and something.
So you buy Gotham Sports
5 years ago. What was that?
So you buy Gotham Sports or the MLB package through MLB.com if you're out of market.
Yeah, you're right, but they have their cable, and then it's $34 a month. I'm just going with the people that are retired that don't have it. And there are
for Amazon. You got to pay for Apple. You got to pay for Roku. If you don't have cable, you got to pay for ESPN. You have to pay for everything. So it's not like the Yes Network is just an outlier. It's the same as everything else.
Yes, but a 9 time. Okay, so when they're on Prime, I'll give you an example. Okay, you can't look at unless you have other TVs right next to it, and you're reporting on the games. You can't do anything else when you're watching the Mets on SNY or Channel 11. If you want to flip to the other games, you can. It's a hassle to go back and forth, and I'm just talking from an elderly person. They're not going to go crazy. They see the Yankees and, oh wow, the Met game, there's a no-hitter going. They can't go to it.
But it's not like the Mets don't play on national TV. The only outlet besides Amazon, the Mets play on everything else. They play on Apple. They play on ESPN. They play on Roku. They play everywhere too. They play on Fox. That's national TV. The MLB has contracts with those networks. And I get it sucks, but it's about the money. The MLB is profiting heavily because of this TV money. That's one of the driving forces of their money.
Listen, MLB is very strong right now. They're a money pit, and they are up there with just about everybody. Listen, I'm just looking in an older person's perspective, that they have to, some people just can't go on a computer or on their TV and change it. They used to channel 11 WPIX for the Yankees, the Yes Network, of course. They were also on Fox 5 locally, and all of that. I'm just saying, when the Yankees are on Amazon Prime, like every Wednesday, they are limited. If you don't know much, if you can't get it on your phone, you don't have another TV next to you or another cable company or whatever you're doing. You're stuck. You got to wait there, and that's it. You're limited. And is that fair to a big fan of baseball that on a Wednesday night, I'm just picking Wednesday night, but Friday night for Apple, when you're on those stations, you can't watch anything else. That's what bothers me. And people that are on a budget, they can't afford to do what the working guy can do right now, or the young person. They just can't. So I'm just looking. I mean, I'm looking on that perspective. That's what people complain to me about. That's all I'm saying. I know Major League Baseball is making a fortune off of it. So are the Yankees with Amazon Prime. But it's got to be something where it's all together. And, if so you want to be able to switch to the Met game, or you want to go to the Yankee game, or you want to go to the game of the week. You can't do that when you're on Amazon Prime and all of that. That's all I'm saying. Am I against it? I'm not against it, but I'm also concerned for the elder people that just can't afford, Peacock and this one and that one and the other day it was on football or whatever that was, but the Yankees ended up being on Yes. So that's all I'm saying. And, let me tell you something. Before you respond, the Yes Network with Gotham has a lot of problems on the internet.
I've never had problems with it.
Oh yeah, no, people have complained, and to be honest with you, it kicks me off sometimes too.
Well, I use it through DirecTV, so it might be different.
The what?
I use it through cable, so it's a little bit different.
Okay, but I'm just saying. I mean, how much baseball has changed. I mean, listen, we never even touched about the. Let's go to another one. The phantom runner in the 10th inning. Are you for that? And that favors the home team big time. What are your thoughts on that?
It favors the home team, except when it's the Yankees, because they seem to not be able to win a single game whenever they go to extras. But I think there's a time and a place for it. I can't get behind it in the playoffs. That's the one thing, because isn't it taken away in the playoffs?
Oh yeah. No, it's not used in the playoffs. But
so,
do you think it's fair to a closer like Mariano Rivera? Let's say he would come in and he's got a man on second, and there's two little ground balls to second base. Let's say more towards the outfield or something, and he's losing the game, and he gets credited for the loss if the Yankees don't come back, or any team. I don't think
any team
fair.
just has to hit two ground balls, and they will score as well. So it goes both ways. It's not like it's a one-way street, and the Yankees are just getting ousted because they're at such a disadvantage because there's a runner on second for the other team, but they don't have a runner on second or anything like that. Like, it goes both ways.
Some people some people on the show have suggested you want to do something like that. At least you want to put a base runner on, start him on first base. What I mean, all right, it's a little bit more difficult, but I think it's a lot fairer to the closer or the pitcher that's out there. Second base, I mean, I know the Yankees have problems with that. I understand that, but most teams don't. They all they do is they hit the ball to the right side. You got a man on third. You hit a fly ball, you score more than 9 times out of 10, if not 10 out of 10. I just don't feel that's real baseball. That's just giving a heads up that they're awarding you a double to start the inning. Is that fair? That's all. That's all I'm saying. Right or wrong, is that fair? After you grueling for 9 innings, you're tied, and maybe it's 0-0. And all of a sudden, you're awarding the top of the 10 team to second base. And he may be both
ways. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, you're saying the top of the 10th, the away team gets a runner on second. And the bottom of the 10th, the home team gets a runner on second. So it's the same situation. It's not, and I get what you're saying. It makes it harder for the pitchers. But the game has to speed up. It's another one. Like we were talking earlier about the pitching changes. We were talking, I don't know, we were talking about the pitch clock, but I was thinking about it. Everything is to speed the game up. And if it's going both ways, if both teams get that runner on second, I don't have a problem with it. It puts an importance on getting a second run in the 10th because a lot of the times when you just bring that runner from second home, it's not enough. But I don't think it's that big of a deal.
That's fair enough. John Ferrazzo, hey, he's out of the he's on the stream. How you doing, John? If you're an older person living in the metropolitan area, you do what you did before cable TV. You listen to the game on radio if you don't want to spend that money. And of course, I mean that makes sense. That makes sense, John. Thank you.
And you got two great radio voices in Dave Sims and Susan Waldman on WFAN.
Very good. There you go. It's like, it's just, again, you can talk to you blue in the face on that. What I do want to start concentrating on, Ben, and I think it's definitely worth to talk about now, and that's this Toronto series. How big is this series for the New York Yankees?
I think it's huge. Coming off that 4-game sweep, the last time you played them, you got to right the ship. You got to show them, like, you're not just going to walk all over us. You're not going to run through us every time we play you. You got to win. You got to sweep this series. I'm not going to lie. It's not incredibly important to sweep this series. It's more of making a statement by sweeping this series. Like, you're still going to be right there for first place if you take 2 out of 3, or even if you just take 1 out of 3. But if you can sweep this series, it sends such a huge message to the Toronto Blue Jays, to Vlad Guerrero Jr., to everyone over there, that this Yankee team is for real, because I think they are. I do think they will win the division. I just don't see the Blue Jays holding this lead all the way through September, but the Yankees absolutely have to take 2 out of 3, and a sweep would be nice.
Yeah, because the Yankees actually started Toronto on their way. I mean, since that series, the George Springer, what did he go, 11 for 14? I mean, he was unconscious. And then after that, he went 1 for 13. So they obviously see beach balls when they see Yankee pitching. And John the Beagle Dad, thank you for your comment. If we lose the series, I would really be concerned. It's telling. Yeah, it is. And yet there's still time to make up something by making these trades. Would I like to see the trades now, or at least one of them? Yes. I want a secured pitcher in the bullpen. Then we'll worry about third base. Hey, listen, I want to give kudos to Vivas yesterday. He played a really good game yesterday, and he made that tremendous dive on that bunt that really, saved an inning. So kudos to him. I'm not saying he's a superstar or anything like that, but he's better than Peraza hitting. That's for sure. If you put Peraza's defense in Vivas' bat, you got a very good third baseman. So, I mean, again, now in this Toronto series, the Yankees have to play every kind of ball, Ben. They can't rely on the home run. I am so tired. If the Yankees don't hit 4 or 5 homers in the game, more than likely they're not going to win that game most of the time. I want to see hit and run. I want to see bunting. I want Anthony Volpe to go back to the roots. He doesn't need to swing at the fences all the time. Whoever, and I've said this time and time again, who's ever telling him to swing to the fences should be let go. I'm sorry. He's not. He's a Bucky Dent type of player. When are they going to realize this?
But then people get mad when they bunt. And I get it. I'm on your side where they need to bunt. They need to practice the fundamentals, because when the postseason rolls around and nobody knows how to play small ball, nobody knows how to advance a runner from second to third in the 8th inning of a 1-run game, it's a problem. But when Juan Soto does it in the first inning of a game with 2 runners on and nobody out, it's a problem. These guys need to know how to do it. And the only way they learn is from experience. So the Yankees do need to bunt. They do need to work on the hit and run, but there's a time and a place for it. It has to be the right situation. Aaron Boone cannot enter the game with the mindset where I need to do 3 bunts today. I need to call 2 hit and runs. Like, that's just not how it works. The situation has to permit the bunt / hit and run, whatever you want.
Yeah, and Felix, welcome to the stream, Felix. How you doing? Good morning. That Jazz bunt yesterday was beautiful. Yes, it was. It was beautifully to see, and that just enough. And now they are working on that before the games for 2 hours. So maybe something's coming up, but I really want to see. I want to see Volpe doing that more. And again, I still feel, I don't know if you agree with me, Ben, but from the time they put Volpe fifth, it changed his narrative. I'm sorry. He should be batting seventh, eighth, or ninth. Even ninth is beautiful. Let him hit that type of game. He's not Babe Ruth. He's not Lou Gehrig. He's not Darryl Strawberry. I mean, he needs to play his game. And yes, you say, well, the average isn't there. Well, what do you want the average to be if he's got that pressure batting fifth? He was batting fifth when the average is that you get 2 hits, you bat 400. You go 0 for 5, and you go back to 199. That's the problem. And I don't care. I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the face. Volpe's got to play. He's got to bat 8th or 9th, 7th, 8th or 9th. I preferably 8th or 9th, and you'll see his game change. I don't care. If nothing happens then, and he's consistently down there, then I'll say, you know what? He's a bust, and it's time to move on.
And I think if you do move Volpe to the 8th or 9th spot, it's not an insult in moving him all the way down. It's telling him, hey, we want you as a second leadoff hitter to turn the lineup over when we do get to October, and we need to get Judge back up there, when we need to get Bellinger back up there, we need to get Stanton back up there. So for Volpe, he does have to be that small ball player. But you're talking about the pressure of hitting fifth. The lights have been on him since he was at Del Barton. The lights have been on him since he was a first-round pick to the Yankees. He is a New Jersey kid. He grew up like 20 minutes from where I live. So he's been in the spotlight. And he lived up to it all the way through the minor leagues. And now when it's finally time to produce and the lights are at their brightest, I get that. But it's time for him to get it together.
Yeah, and I agree. And I don't know if you know this or not. I played ball with him on Saturday mornings when he was just a young pup. And I knew right away the instincts. We used to play on Saturday mornings in Manhattan, a few times. And I turned to his father and I said, if you let this kid keep going and going, this guy one day is going to play the position that Derek Jeter did. And sure enough, when he got traded, I heard it. They remembered that because he lived in the building where I worked overnight as a concierge doorman. And I'm telling you, the hands on this kid, the instincts were there. And I'm talking, he's only like 6, 7, 8 years old. So, there's nobody rooting harder for him, but it may take him a little while longer because, like you said, he's not a fifth place hitter. Regardless, let him do the small things. Then you want to move him up. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But be consistent, just like with Dominguez. Dominguez needs to be consistent. He needs to lead off. And then another thing that I'm not, it's not a big deal, but I think it's a deal. Aaron Judge should be in one position in the lineup. Why one day second and one day third? This is Aaron Judge. He can hit anybody, supposedly. Why do you keep changing him? And don't tell me it's for protection, because he's got protection. Bellinger has proven time and time again now to be more than capable. Stanton is hitting the ball like a rocket right now. And the poor guy's in so much pain, and he's not complaining. He's not complaining at all. So, it's like, you're going to change somebody, change him for the right reasons and leave him there. No, one day he's batting second, one day he's batting third. I think it makes a difference. I'm sorry. Later in the game, they always get it in the backside because they don't have a hitter like Aaron Judge up there against the left-handed pitcher. He's up next, and it always bites them in the butt. And that's what, that's my opinion about that. Cold Italian Pizza, welcome. How you doing, my boy? What was for breakfast today? What are you cooking? Yeah, you have a nice manigote today or something? Let us know. But you agree with me? Do you agree with me that it should be constant with Judge batting second or third or whatever, wherever they're going to put him?
I mean, that's the Aaron Boone experience. So going into a season, he's gonna spit out probably close to 85 different lineups across 162 games. That going into the season. I think Yankee fans just have to come to terms and accept that that's what it's gonna be. Aaron Judge moving between second and third is not that big of a deal. It really isn't. 2 and 3 it's not like Dominguez, who can hit 6 one day, and then the next he's leading off, and then the next he's hitting 8th, and then the next he won't even play. Jason Dominguez does not have any type of consistency in the lineup. At least Aaron Judge, excuse me, at least Aaron Judge is only moving between 2 different positions in that lineup.
Yeah, I agree. Cold Italian Pizza as a demographic question. Hey guys, what I'm trying to figure out is how the Yankees are playing Toronto in Toronto again within 3 weeks. Schedule has been brutal on the Yankees going back to the 2 West Coast trips earlier. Yeah, there's a lot to be desired with the rosters. I mean, with the schedules, but look what they do in the beginning of the year. The Yankees are playing in very cold weather most of the time. It could be snowing and raining. There's rainouts, there's problems, and they should do a better job. And why isn't Toronto playing here in New York? Why are the Yankees playing 6 games in 3 weeks here a season right away? It makes no sense. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, you play in the rain and snow because you're in New York. That's part of the experience of being a New York athlete that plays outside. If I'm just gonna look at whenever the Yankees and Blue Jays will play, I gotta find it.
Yeah, but
I'll come back to the regular season. All right, here it is. The Blue Jays will be in the Bronx on September 5th, 6th, and 7th. Those are the games that are going to matter more. Those are the games down the stretch that are going to shape the AL East, that are going to shape the wild card standings. Would you rather play those at home, or would you rather be at home now and have to go up to Toronto in September when it's going to be a lot colder than it is right now to play those important games?
Well, first of all, no, and what you're saying is great. I understand it. But it shouldn't even have to come down to that. If you're saying that you don't believe Toronto is up there, that series should be meaningless, basically.
They're gonna be up there though, because they have a 3-game division lead, and we're in July. They're gonna be there. I don't think they'll hold on at the end of the day, but they're gonna be there all the way through. It's gonna come down to the last week.
Wow. Okay. All right. Don't count out the Red Sox either.
Yes, that's true. They've won 11 out of their last 13.
Yeah, and Evan says September is cold in the Bronx. Toronto has a roof, so it could be for maybe the advantage the Yankees because they play in colder weather all the time, which is true. But look at what MLB did for the Tampa Bay Rays. They did all of their games in April and May because they know that they have a lot of thunderstorms. So they in June, July, and August or whatever around that time. So they accommodated that. So how come? What's more important? I mean, I'm not saying Tampa Bay is not important, but they went out of their way to do that. Why don't they accommodate the New York team? Not just the Yankees, the Mets too.
I don't think they're really accommodating anyone. I think it's more the Rays because they're not playing in their home stadium, which is built to withstand those thunderstorms. They have a roof at Tropicana Field for a reason. And they're playing at home away from home. They're not in their usual ballpark. The next ballpark that is going to be built for them is going to have a roof. They know Florida has those thunderstorms. And as far as it goes for the New York teams, it's not as bad with the weather. You'll get a little bit of cold weather, bad weather, snow in April. But once you get to May, it's really good. And really what I've noticed is it stays warm later now. So what used to be the spring is kind of turning into the fall. So you're getting your real cold weather games out of the way early. And then in September, it's a little bit warmer now. And wouldn't you rather be playing in meaningful cold weather games down the stretch? Wouldn't you rather be playing in games that matter in September, even if it is cold? Because there are a lot of teams that are going to have meaningless Septembers, and the weather's still going to be cold for them.
That's true. And another factor is now we're going into November for the World Series, which
You're
you don't
going
mind.
into November by like 2 days. It's not like it's 3 weeks and it's almost December.
But in all the other years, by the 24th, the 25th, the World Series was over. So you're going the 26th, the 27th, the 28th, the 29th, the 30th, the 31st, 1, 2. So that's still another 9 days. That's a long, long haul, which you don't mind, especially if your team's in the World Series. I don't care if it goes to December. I'm just saying, there is a weather factor, and the New York teams will never put a dome on because it just won't work here. It's not New York baseball then. So, no, listen, I get it. And we're debating it, really cool. And the chat has a lot of, Evan goes, September is cold in the Bronx. Toronto has a roof. Okay. You're right about that. Charles goes, it doesn't matter if it's cold. They play in a dome. Right, which probably would give the Yankees an advantage, don't you think? Or the Mets, because they're playing in that type of weather for a whole month of April. That's all we're saying. So, with that, it could go again. It goes either way. I'm just saying, and I agree with what you said about Tampa Bay because of the storms and everything. But you could say that if you really want to, in a lesser extent, it's cold and dreary every April in New York most of the time. That's all we're saying. Listen, I've been to Yankee games. The snow coming down, rain, snow. I was there for the opening day, the year they won the World Series in '96. That happened again in '98. So I've been through rain and snow in April and freezing my buns off at Yankee Stadium. So, I understand it. So you have to experience before anything. The nasty one. Mets can play on the moon if they aren't even winning the World Series. Okay, so obviously he's not a Met fan, but of course everybody's entitled to their opinion. Well, guys, we've been on for a little over an hour. Thank you for staying with us. But a few notes, as you know. Today, our pregame show really is turning into a really, really big and nice interview with former Major League Championship player Jake McGee. And I think you'd all want to come in and see how he felt about pitching against the Yankees, especially in Yankee Stadium. He was so successful. The Yankees just couldn't hit this man with a 30-foot pole. So please come back at 4 p.m. We really appreciate it. The two of us will be dissecting his career. And if you have questions, start it in the chat. The link is out. And we'll try to get to each and every question. But, again, we appreciate it. And we want to see you in the chat at 4 p.m. Once he gets off, then we will talk about, we'll have the lineups up. We'll talk, we'll dissect a little bit of the game. And then tonight, right after the game, right after Ken from The Ugly Truth does the play-by-play on the Ugly Truth channel, you guys come back and we'll have our post game. So it's a lot of things going on. And of course, during the day, if there's any Yankee news, any trades or anything big in baseball, we will have it on NY Yankee Mania. And if it's a huge trade, we're coming on live immediately. So there's a lot going on. Ben, totally enjoyed you being on this morning. Looking forward to 4 o'clock a little later. Some final thoughts.
Good show today as well. Same. Looking forward to the interview later today. And Yankees need a win tonight. That's all I'll say.
Mm. Shame on me, but I did not see. Are the Mets playing tonight, or are they off?
I'm not sure. I would assume they're playing. Let me pull it up.
Okay, why are you saying that, John?
They're playing. They're playing to the Angels tonight.
Oh, at Citi Field, I guess.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
John Ferrazzo, we'll take one more. When the weather is cold, the fans may not come out, and spring training games are in the warm weather. You don't want your starting pitchers to get injured adjusting to the colder weather.
The Bronx is packed every single night. It doesn't matter if it's 110 degrees or it's negative 15 and snowing. That is such an invalid point. The weather does not affect the fans at all. And then the pitchers getting injured. Yeah, we do see an increase in injuries earlier in the season. But what's your solution to that? Start the season later? I feel like that's off topic of what we were really talking about.
Okay. Thanks, John, for that. And I hope you'll be with us for Jake McGee at 4 p.m. And everybody here, I appreciate it. As you go in and out, of course, subscribe and press the like button. We really appreciate it. Before we go, Ben, say something about your channel for them to subscribe and all that, and then we'll end the stream. Go ahead.
Yeah, go check out my podcast, The Sports Pod, wherever you get your podcasts and YouTube. You could also find me on Instagram at the Sports Pod _Ben and on TikTok at the.sports.pod. I put a link in the chat to all my links earlier. I'll do it again right there. And go check it out. Subscribe, follow, like. Really appreciate all of it.
Well, thank you so much. And we are looking forward to 4 p.m. So that's going to be a wrap, everyone. Thank you for being with us this morning, as always. Tomorrow morning, we will be right back at you at 8:30 in the morning with NY Yankee Mania, and we'll hopefully dissect the game. Of course, we'll do the post game tonight. We're hoping it's a happy recap. So with that in mind, I want to just say thank you to everyone. God bless you all. Love you all, each and every one. You guys make the whole show. We're just here to try to give you the best insight and some information about your favorite teams. God bless you all. God bless America. God bless the Yankees. And stay healthy, everyone. Have a great Monday. We'll see you soon. Take care.